I'm Emma, I'm 28, and 3 weeks ago I discovered that my entire life has been built on a lie that my mother orchestrated 17 years ago. I'm writing this from my childhood bedroom at 2 a.m. because I can't sleep. I can't think straight. And I genuinely don't know if I'm the asshole here or if my reaction is justified. Let me back up. I've always been close with my mom, Patricia, 56. My dad left when I was 4, and it's been just the two of us ever since. She worked 2 jobs to put me through college, never complained, never dated seriously because she said I was her priority. I worshipped her. She was my best friend, my role model, the person I called first with every piece of news. When I got engaged to my boyfriend Jake, 30, last year, she cried happy tears and immediately started planning the wedding with me. My older half-brother Marcus, 34, and I weren't close growing up. He lived with his mom in another state, and we only saw each other at occasional family gatherings. Different dads, different lives. But about 5 years ago, when his mother passed away from cancer, something shifted. He moved back to our hometown, and we started building an actual sibling relationship. He's quiet, thoughtful, nothing like me. Where I'm loud and impulsive, he's measured and careful. We started having weekly dinners, and I realized I'd been missing out on having a brother all those years. Here's where it gets complicated. Marcus has always been careful with money. Like, extremely careful. He drives a 15-year-old Honda, lives in a modest apartment, shops at thrift stores. I used to tease him about it, call him cheap. I know. I'm cringing at myself now. He'd just smile and say he was saving for something important. My mom would make little comments too, nothing mean, just observations about how he never splurges, or lives like a monk. Fast forward to my wedding 2 months ago. It was beautiful, everything I'd dreamed of. Small ceremony, close friends and family only, reception at a vineyard. Marcus showed up alone. He's perpetually single, which Mom always said was because he's too picky. Gave a sweet toast, and handed me an envelope at the end of the night. Open it later, he said, hugging me tight. I'm really happy for you, Emma. Jake and I didn't open cards until our honeymoon in Greece. Most were the standard checks for $50 to $200, some gift cards, sweet notes. Then I opened Marcus's envelope. Inside was a check for $50,000. I literally dropped it. Jake picked it up, looked at it, looked at me. Is this real? He asked. It can't be, I said, but my hands were shaking. He doesn't have this kind of money. He drives a 2009 Civic. I called Marcus immediately, despite it being 3 a.m. back home. He answered on the second ring, voice groggy. Emma? What's wrong? Marcus, this check. I can't accept this. This is insane. Where did you even get this money? There was a long pause. Then he said, quietly, it's from Dad. I felt my stomach drop. What? Our dad. He died 4 years ago, Sarah. He left us both money. I thought you knew. The rest of that conversation is a blur. I remember Jake taking the phone from me because I was crying too hard to speak. I remember him asking Marcus to explain everything slowly. I remember sitting on our hotel balcony overlooking the Aegean Sea, feeling like the ground had opened up beneath me. Here's what I learned that night. Our father, Richard, hadn't just left when I was 4. He'd wanted shared custody. He'd paid child support. He'd tried to maintain a relationship with me. My mother had systematically cut him out, moved us 3 times without telling him, changed our phone numbers, told him I didn't want to see him. When I was 12, he stopped trying, but he kept a trust fund going. When he died of a heart attack 4 years ago, he left Marcus and me each $200,000. Marcus got his money because he was in contact with the estate lawyer. I never got mine because my mother, listed as my trustee since I was still technically a dependent when Dad died at 24, never told me about it. She'd kept $200,000 of my inheritance secret for 4 years. I couldn't process it. Jake held me while I cried, then got angry, then cried again. We cut our honeymoon short and flew home 3 days later. The confrontation happened at her house, the same house where I'd grown up, where she'd hung my crayon drawings and made me breakfast every morning before school. Jake waited in the car. This was something I needed to do alone. "You're back early," she said when she opened the door, already reaching for a hug. Then she saw my face. "Honey, what's wrong? Where's my money, Mom?" Her face went pale, just completely white. "What are you talking about?" "The $200,000 that Dad left me. The trust fund. The inheritance that you've been sitting on for 4 years." She sat down heavily on the couch. For a long moment, she didn't say anything. Then, "Marcus told you." Marcus gave me a $50,000 wedding gift from his own inheritance and mentioned that Dad left US money. "That's how I found out, Mom. Not from you. From the brother you always said was weird about money." "Emma, let me explain." "Explain what?" "How you stole from me. How you lied about my father for 24 years. How you made me think he abandoned us when he was fighting to see me." Her eyes filled with tears. "He did abandon us. In every way that mattered. I protected you. By lying to me? By keeping money that was mine? That money was going to ruin you," she shouted, standing up. "You're impulsive, Emma. You always have been. You would have blown through it on a fancy car or a bigger wedding or some stupid business idea. I was protecting it for you, waiting for the right time." "The right time? I've been working 2 jobs to afford my wedding. Jake and I have been living in a cramped 1-bedroom apartment saving for a down payment on a house. We have student loans. And you're sitting on my money deciding when I'm responsible enough to have it? I'm your mother. It's my job to. It was my money, not yours. You don't get to decide. He never loved you like I did." She screamed. "He left. He gave up. I was the one who raised you, who sacrificed everything. I earned that money more than he ever did." I stared at her, really looked at her, and for the first time in my life, I saw someone I didn't recognize. "You kept it because you were angry at him," I said slowly. "This was never about protecting me. This was about punishing him, even after he was dead." She started crying. "I did everything for you. Everything. And you're going to throw me away over money? You lied to me about who my father was. You stole my inheritance. You let me struggle financially when you were sitting on $200,000 of my money. And you think this is about me throwing you away?" I left. She called after me, but I kept walking. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, I've learned more. I hired a lawyer. Apparently, my mother had been slowly using the money. Borrowing from it, as she called it. There's $180,000 left. She'd used $20,000 over 4 years for expenses, a bathroom renovation, a new car, the BMW she told me she got a great deal on, a cruise to Alaska she said was a gift from her friend Janet. My father's lawyer, a kind man named Robert who's now in his 70s, met with me. He had letters. Dozens of letters my father had written to me over the years. Birthday cards. Christmas presents that were apparently returned to sender. A whole box of things my mother had intercepted. He loved you very much, Robert said, handing me a photo of my dad holding me as a baby. He talked about you constantly. Losing access to you broke his heart. I've been reading these letters every night. My dad wasn't the abandoning deadbeat my mother made him out to be. He was a graphic designer who loved hiking and bad puns. He remarried when I was 10, to a woman named Carol who apparently desperately wanted to meet me. He had questions about my life, hopes for my future. The last letter, written 2 months before his heart attack, said, "I hope someday Emma understands that I never stopped being her father, even if I couldn't be in her life. I hope she knows I loved her every single day. Marcus has been incredible through all this. We've talked for hours. He told me about our dad, shared memories, showed me photos. He apologized for not telling me sooner about the money, but said he'd assumed our mother had handled it, that there must have been a reason for the delay. He'd given me the $50,000 as a wedding gift partly because he'd worried I might need it, and partly because family should help family. I saved so much because I always thought someday I might need to help you," he admitted over coffee last week. "When I got my inheritance, I put most of it in careful investments. I'm not cheap, Emma. After losing my mom, and knowing our dad was gone, you're all I have. I wanted to make sure I could be there for you. I ugly cried in that Starbucks. My mother has been calling constantly. Texting. Showing up at my apartment. She says I'm being unreasonable, that she's sorry, that she only wanted what was best for me. She says I'm choosing money over family. My Aunt Linda, Mom's sister, called me yesterday. Your mother is devastated, she said. She made mistakes, but she loves you. You're destroying her over this. She lied to me for 24 years, I said. She protected you from a man who didn't want to be bothered. That's not true. I have letters proving it. Linda paused. What letters? My mother hadn't told her family the whole truth. She'd maintained the narrative that my father had abandoned us. When I explained about the inheritance, the letters, the intercepted contact attempts, Linda went quiet. Oh my God, she finally said. Patricia, what did you do? At least someone believes me. Jake's been supportive but worried. I don't want this to consume you, he said last night. I love you, and I want you to heal from this, not let it poison everything. He's right. But how do I heal from learning that my entire understanding of my family was wrong? That my mother, my hero, manipulated and lied and stole from me? That I missed out on knowing my father because of her bitterness? I met Carol, my father's widow, yesterday. She's 58, teaches elementary school, and started crying the moment she saw me. You look just like him, she said. Same eyes, Same smile. He would be so happy you're here. We talked for 3 hours. She told me about my dad's favorite books, his terrible cooking, how he'd set up a small shrine in their home office with photos of me from Facebook. Apparently he'd created a fake account just to see my pictures. She gave me his old camera, some of his art supplies, a leather jacket he'd wanted me to have. He never stopped loving you, she said. Every Father's Day, every birthday, he'd get quiet and sad. I'd find him looking at your baby pictures. He blamed himself for not fighting harder. I've started therapy. My therapist says I'm grieving multiple losses at once. The father I never knew, the mother I thought I had, the trust that's been shattered. She says it's okay to be angry. It's okay to need space. It's okay to not know what comes next. My mother showed up at my apartment again last night. Jake answered the door while I hid in the bedroom. Mature, I know. I could hear her crying, begging to talk to me. She doesn't want to see you right now, Patricia, Jake said firmly. You need to give her space. She's my daughter. She's all I have. Then you should have thought about that before you lied to her for 2 decades. The door closed. I heard her crying in the hallway for 10 minutes before she left. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to cut her off completely, to never speak to her again. She doesn't deserve forgiveness. She stole from me, lied to me, deprived me of my father. But another part of me remembers every sacrifice she made, every time she was there for me, every proof of love she gave over 28 years. Can all of that be negated by this betrayal? Or is this betrayal so fundamental that nothing else matters? Jake thinks I should talk to her eventually, with a therapist present. Marcus says whatever I decide, he supports me. My Aunt Linda says my mother needs serious help, and has apparently staged her own intervention, which my mother walked out of. The money's being legally sorted. My lawyer says I'll get the remaining $180,000, plus my mother may be legally obligated to return the $20,000 she used, possibly with interest. There could be criminal charges for financial elder abuse or fraud, though since I wasn't technically an elder and she was the trustee, it's complicated. I haven't decided if I want to press charges. Carol has invited me to visit my father's grave. I haven't been able to bring myself to go yet. How do I mourn someone I never really knew? How do I process losing him twice? My friends are divided. Some say my mother made an unforgivable choice and I should cut her off. Others say she's still my mother, she raised me alone. People make mistakes. One friend pointed out that my mother probably saw that money as compensation for all the child support she felt she was owed, all the years she struggled. It doesn't make it right, but it provides context. I'm supposed to be enjoying being a newlywed. Instead, I'm unraveling my entire childhood, questioning every memory, wondering what else she's lied about. Jake and I haven't even hung our wedding photos yet because I can't look at the pictures of my mother without feeling sick. Last night, I finally read the last letter my father wrote. It ended with, "I forgive your mother for keeping you from me. Anger and hurt make people do terrible things. I hope you inherit my ability to find peace, not my weakness for holding grudges. Be happy, Emma. That's all I ever wanted for you." And now I'm crying again, sitting on my childhood bed, surrounded by memories that feel tainted. My mother's sleeping downstairs, She doesn't know I'm here. I used my key to sneak in because I needed to be in my room. Needed to remember who I was before 3 weeks ago. There's a photo on my nightstand of my mom and me at my high school graduation. We're both laughing, her arm around my shoulders, pure joy on both our faces. That woman loved me. I know she did. But she also lied to me, manipulated me, and stole from me for years. Can both things be true? Can I love her and hate what she's done? Can I forgive her, or would that be betraying my father's memory? I'm meeting with my lawyer tomorrow to finalize the paperwork for the inheritance. I'm having dinner with Marcus and Carol on Friday. And I'm supposed to call my mother back because she's left 17 messages saying she needs to explain. But I don't know if I'm ready to hear it. I don't know if any explanation would be enough. Read it, I'm lost. How do I move forward from this? Do I owe my mother a conversation? Do I pursue legal action? How do I grieve a father I never knew while being angry at the mother who kept him from me? And am I the asshole for considering cutting her out of my life after everything she did for me? I keep thinking about what Jake said last night. Your mother's love was real, but it was also selfish. She loved you the way she needed to love you, not the way you needed to be loved. Is that enough? Does intent matter when the damage is done? I don't have answers. I'm just exhausted, heartbroken, and angrier than I've ever been in my life. And somewhere in this mess, I'm supposed to figure out how to be a daughter, a sister, a wife, and maybe someday, at peace with all of this. Update if anyone cares. My mother just knocked on my bedroom door. She knows I'm here. I can hear her breathing on the other side of the door, waiting. I don't know if I'm ready to open it. What would you do?